AITA for refusing to let my fiancé make my dad pay for our entire wedding? Hi, Reddit. Throwaway because my fiancé knows my main. I, 27F, have been with my fiancé Mark, 29M, for 4 years. We got engaged about 8 months ago, and up until recently, I thought things were great. He's funny, hardworking, and we usually get along really well. But now that we're planning the wedding, things have gotten messy. Mark and I both work full-time. I make decent money, $65K per year as a teacher, and he makes about $80K a year in sales. We're not rich, but we're comfortable. We've always split bills pretty evenly, and I assumed we'd do the same for our wedding. Here's where the problem starts. Mark insists that it's tradition for the bride's family to pay for the entire wedding. He wants the whole thing covered by my parents. Venue, food, dress, photography, the works. The problem is, my parents are not wealthy. My dad is a mechanic, my mom works part-time at a library. They've always been amazing parents, but money has never been easy for them. My dad told us up front he could contribute $5,000 to help, and I was touched because I know that's a lot for them. But Mark's reaction, he literally scoffed and said, $5,000? That won't even cover the open bar. He should be embarrassed. Meanwhile, was shocked. I told him $5,000 is generous and more than enough, and we could cover the rest ourselves. But Mark keeps saying things like, if your dad really cared about you, he'd make it happen. And my parents don't have to pay anything because that's not how it works. It gets worse. Mark started telling his family that my dad is being cheap. His mom even called me and said, it's a man's duty to provide for his daughter's wedding. Your dad is setting a bad example. I defended my dad, but now my parents feel humiliated. My mom told me she doesn't even want to attend the wedding if this continues. The final straw? Last week, the venue we were considering called my dad, directly to confirm the $20,000 deposit. My dad was confused and told them he never agreed to anything. Turns out Mark had reserved the venue under my dad's name without asking. My dad called me furious, saying he felt used and disrespected. I confronted Mark and he doubled down, saying, your dad will cave. He always caves for you. He just needs a push. I was livid. I told him he had no right to use my dad's name and that I wouldn't let him manipulate my parents. Mark blew up and accused me of choosing my parents over my future husband. Now my mom and dad are telling me they'll support whatever decision I make, but they clearly hate Mark now. My maid of honor, best friend since childhood, told me flat out that I should rethink marrying him because this is a huge red flag. I love Mark, but this whole thing is making me see him in a different light. AITA for refusing to let my fiancé make my dad pay for the entire wedding? Top comments NTA. You're dodging a bullet. If he's acting this entitled before you're even married, imagine what life will be like after. This isn't about tradition. It's about control and greed. Your dad offered $5,000. That's amazing generosity given his situation. Mark mocking that is disgusting. Honestly, if my fiancé ever disrespected my family like that, the engagement would be over on the spot. He booked a venue under your dad's name? That's not just entitled, that's borderline fraud. Change the locks on your relationship. Red flag city, run. Don't walk. Tradition is not an excuse to bankrupt your parents. Tradition also said women couldn't vote once upon a time. Don't let him hide behind it. Update One High Reddit. Thank you for the overwhelming responses. I read through hundreds of them, and while some were hard to hear, they really opened my eyes. I ended up calling off the wedding. After my original post, Mark and I had a long conversation. I told him I felt disrespected, that he had crossed a huge boundary by using my dad's name without permission, and that I couldn't marry someone who treated my family that way. He didn't take it well. He accused me of throwing away 4 years over a little money. He said my dad had poisoned me against him. When I stayed firm, he packed a bag and went to stay with a friend. His mom then called me to say I was making a mistake, and that a good wife supports her husband no matter what. That was pretty much the nail in the coffin. I gave back the ring, which, by the way, his mom paid for, not him. My parents are proud of me. My mom cried and hugged me, saying she was glad I saw the red flags before walking down the aisle. My dad told me he would have gone into debt for me if I'd asked, but he was relieved I didn't let it get that far. I feel sad and a little lost, but also strangely free. Update 2. Just wanted to close the loop on this. Mark tried reaching out after a few weeks, saying he missed me and that we could still have the wedding if my parents agreed to be reasonable. That confirmed for me that nothing had changed. I blocked him. I've been spending time with my family and friends, focusing on myself. And honestly, I feel better than I have in years. My maid of honor joked that she's throwing me a non-wedding party to celebrate my freedom. To everyone who told me I dodged a bullet, you were right. Thank you. More Reddit comments. So he makes $80K a year but wants your dad, a mechanic, to cough up 40 grand? Math isn't his strong suit, huh? OP, your fiancé basically tried to commit financial identity theft on your dad. That's not a little mistake. That's a serious trust issue. He literally said your dad would cave. Translation, he was banking on manipulating your family. You don't want to spend a lifetime being pressured like that. Tell him tradition also says the groom's family pays for the rehearsal dinner. Did they forget that part? Or does tradition only apply when it benefits him? You know what? Tradition I like? The tradition of not marrying entitled jerks. Imagine future arguments. Your dad should pay for our house. Your dad should pay for our kids' college. Your dad should pay for our groceries. Honestly, the biggest green flag here is your dad. He was willing to give what he could, even when it was a sacrifice. That's real love. Protect him from people like Mark. Girl, cancel the wedding and get yourself a cake anyway. Celebrate your freedom. If he truly wanted to marry you, he would have worked with you, not against your family. You don't start a marriage by dividing families and insulting the people who raised your partner. Reddit hive mind aside, think about this. The way someone treats your parents is usually how they'll treat you when they think they can get away with it. Don't ignore that.